Hey everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com. It's about 4:20 on October 23rd, 2014. We're going to take a look at some interesting developments in the S&P. Before we do that, I need to remind you that the website and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in the video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research. And please, make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. I am not a licensed financial professional. I'm just a guy who draws lines on charts. So let's take a look. Starting out here on a 10-minute chart, you'll recall this green trend line, which had been strong resistance ever since the end of September. All throughout October, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. We got over that line today. Now, I mentioned yesterday the possibility of a bullish pattern developing. Now that we are over this line, I'll briefly mention it if you hadn't figured it out already. By the way, we did have an inverted head and shoulders pattern down here. We have not yet made the target. The target is still about 18 points above us. So what are we looking at? Well, we might be looking at an even larger inverted head and shoulders pattern. You recall that I thought we had an inverted head and shoulders back here, but now it's looking like we may have an even larger one. And one of the reasons I say that is because when we look at the 30-minute chart and we draw a trend line from the all-time high, no matter where we try to make, no matter where we try to draw a line to, quote, create resistance, we're above any spot where you could possibly draw this line. In other words, if we start with this peak back here and then we choose any of our additional peaks at any point since then, we are now over all of those potential trend lines. That's just a little something that tells you that this market really has had some legs since we hit that low down in the low 1800s. Now, I mentioned that we might be forming an even larger inverted head and shoulders. And you might be looking at this and you're saying, hey, yeah, there's our neckline. Well, I'm not quite ready to proclaim this as a neckline. And here's why. We are still on the rally side of the head. Okay? We had the descent that was in a channel, now the rally that is approximately in a channel. We still don't have a really good support line in this, but my feeling is that we probably should fall underneath an established support line and back off a bit to form that right shoulder, if that is what is going on. So, if that is the case, then we could reach our target up here at 1978, then pull back a bit, at which point we would look at what the chart in its totality and could potentially end up with an inverted head and shoulders that looks like this as the neckline, where you have the left shoulder, a little dip, the head, a rally, a dip, and then potentially getting over that. So that's just something that I'm thinking of in the back of my head. But as far as the day goes, a nice strong day. You can see that that we, I mentioned that we were in this little descending pattern yesterday that could have been interpreted as a descending wedge between this line and this line, with a breakout, a pullback, and then today we got essentially a gap up to about where one would expect from a breakout of that little wedge. We came up and rallied up through most of the day, then we encountered some weakness, and let's see, even though we never got technically significantly above this green line, and what I mean by that is we never got 1% above it, let's see tomorrow if this line stands in as a form of support, because it's been resistance plenty enough times. Now that we're above it, even though we're only about 0.53% above it or something like that at the peak today, maybe 0.6%, you can see that we did have some afternoon weakness, and it looks like we're coming back down for sure to test that line, and let's see if that test resolves in favor of the bulls. So guys, it's really interesting how things turn. You know, you're looking at what you think is an inverted head and shoulders pattern back here, and it just falls to pieces. And then you're looking at the potential of a pattern that is even more impressive and even more bullish. Now, you'll remember that at one point we also thought we had an inverted head and shoulders right here, which failed miserably. Don't worry about that at this point, because we are developing a new pattern, and I will be very interested to see if we are able to get a good neckline on this thing, to figure out where that is. I'm going to get rid of that because it may not be there. And then we'll see if this pattern will be able to propel us up to what should be something north of 2100. So guys, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this video. We are still in our little sort of a channel, by the way. So everything right now is looking pretty good. Just keep our fingers crossed. And if we reach a level that lines up with one of our peaks back in the earlier part of the October or the latter part of September, and we start to sell back and we break our channel, don't freak out. That actually could be a good thing, because I would like to see that right shoulder develop. And let me see if maybe we've got a nice inverted head and shoulders pattern down here. The other one, apparently, it was never confirmed, so it's not a head and shoulders pattern. We have a confirmed head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders pattern right here with a target of 1978. The question is, will we end up with an even larger confirmed pattern? So there's your video for October 23rd, 2014. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being patient with me for the past couple days, as my schedule has been fairly hectic. Thanks again. Take care.